The man gradually realized that he seemed to have some perverse tendencies. He enjoyed drugging himself heavily, rendering himself unconscious, and then calculating how long the effects would last. Even more bizarrely, he often talked to the air as if inviting invisible people into his car. After they got in, he would pretend to close the door while secretly locking it, then abruptly grab the neck of the empty space and pull out a drug, as if he were actually drugging someone. You might think he was a fool, but no, he was just a complete and utter pervert. Every day, Mike would drive 10 kilometers away to repeat this routine. He did this to practice how to drug and kidnap a strange woman in a crowded place. However, when he was truly ready to put his plan into action, his wife accidentally discovered his secret. She noticed that Mike's car was accumulating an extra 10 kilometers of mileage each day. At first, she merely suspected that her husband had a mistress. Mike, however, easily deceived her by claiming he was just going to KFC. From that day on, Mike began to carry out his evil plan. But since it was his first time committing a crime and he lacked experience, his obvious unease and deliberateness immediately alerted the person he tried to lure into his car. The woman politely declined, and his attempt ended in failure. However, Mike wasn't discouraged by this. Instead, he felt an inexplicable excitement. Throughout the entire process, his expression remained calm, and his heart rate never exceeded 100. After summarizing the lessons from this failure, Mike returned home and began meticulously preparing various luring tactics. He practiced every day, continuing to try to get passersby into his car. Although he occasionally got slapped by the boyfriends of his targets, he enjoyed it. With each attempt, his tricks became more and more skillful. Until one day, Mike decided to strike again. He had his eye on a new target, but discovered that she was actually his neighbor just as he was about to make his move. In that instant, he immediately abandoned the idea. Unexpectedly, the neighbor mistakenly thought Mike was a taxi driver and kindly suggested he try his luck at a gas station. After all, there were many people there, and he might encounter a suitable passenger. It was this unintentional reminder that led a vibrant life to its end. Mike immediately drove to the gas station, bringing a specially made plaster cast and pretending to have an injured and inconvenienced hand. He took advantage of women's kindness to seek help. However, after successfully tricking a woman into his car, Mike made a fatal low-level mistake. He went to the back of the car, quietly poured the drug onto a handkerchief, and was about to return to the car to complete the final step when he suddenly sneezed. Mike instinctively covered his nose with the handkerchief, but when he came to his senses, he realized the handkerchief was already soaked with the drug. As a result, he let his prey escape with his own hands. While washing up, Mike even laughed out loud at his own blunder. But as he was about to leave the gas station, he casually bought a cup of coffee to refresh himself. Suddenly, the woman next to him struck up a conversation, wanting to get some change from Mike. Little did she know that this seemingly trivial matter would plunge her into a dangerous abyss. Initially, Mike had no intention of targeting her, but the woman suddenly complimented his keychain for being exquisite. As it happened, Mike had an eccentric nature and couldn't stand people praising him, so he deliberately deceived the woman, saying he had many similar keychains in his car and could give her one for free. The woman willingly followed Mike to his car. At first, she maintained a high level of vigilance, but upon seeing the family photo in Mike's car, she completely let her guard down. However, the moment she sat in the car, Mike anesthetized her with the drug. Mike knew the woman's boyfriend was not far away, so he immediately started the car and left. At the same time, the woman's boyfriend, John, finally realized that his girlfriend had not returned from the convenience store for a long time, and a sense of anxiety arose in his heart. John searched frantically, but couldn't find any trace of his girlfriend. He kept asking passersby, and even though some people said they had seen her, no one paid much attention to her whereabouts since they didn't know each other. Just like that, John's girlfriend seemed to vanish from the world, and John's nightmare quietly began from that moment. 3 years passed quietly, and John still hadn't stopped searching for his girlfriend. He posted missing person notices everywhere and even spent money to appear on news programs. However, what he didn't know was that Mike had also seen this news. During this time, people kept providing leads to John, but no one ever truly showed up for the appointments. Even though he knew the other party definitely wouldn't appear, John still went as agreed because he firmly believed the mastermind was nearby. Until the last time, John finally couldn't bear this torture anymore and started shouting loudly. The person who had been tormenting him from behind was none other than Mike. Faced with the nearly broken John, Mike's twisted psychology was still not satisfied. To pursue thrills, he even personally found John and confessed everything. Mike claimed to be the one who kidnapped Mary. To make John believe him, he described Mary's appearance and physique in detail. Upon hearing these details, John completely lost control. No one knew how he had endured the torment of his girlfriend being missing for 3 whole years. He unleashed all his anger on Mike, and Mike didn't resist at all while being beaten and kicked because for him, there was nothing more exciting than this. At this moment, John was desperate to find out his girlfriend's whereabouts. He could only follow Mike to a wide open space. Mike told him that as long as he drank this cup of coffee, he would be able to see his girlfriend's experiences. At first, John was full of caution and didn't drink it. However, when he walked to a tree, his defenses instantly collapsed. This was the exact place where he and his girlfriend had once parted, and they had even buried 2 coins under the tree. His longing for his girlfriend left his heart unsettled for a long time. Afterward, he got into Mike's car and drank the coffee. Soon, John fell into a deep sleep. When he woke up, he found himself buried underground. At that moment, he finally understood everything his girlfriend had experienced.